Hey everybody, Bill and Deb.
Hi there.
It is a warm one today.
Yes, it is.
It's 97 degrees. I don't know what the heat index is, but it's
We
way
don't
up
want to
there.
know.
Well,
We don't want to know.
fortunately, we have a lot of shade where we're
Yes.
sitting right now, and that helps a whole bunch, you know. And there is a breeze today. Of course, that we know based on what Ryan Hall has been saying, which we like to follow Ryan Hall on YouTube. He's a weatherman. Evidently, there's been some storms to the west of us and some storms tonight to the east of us.
We were supposed to have rain today.
Yeah, and it never happened.
Not yet.
Never happened. So I guess that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's hard to say. Hard to say. But we're here at this campground. It's on Rend Lake in southern Illinois.
It's a beautiful lake.
It's a beautiful lake, and actually the campground is very pretty.
Oh,
here.
yes.
And it's a big campground too. And
Yeah, I forget how many sites, but
this is Sunday afternoon, so you know, it's mass exodus day.
yep.
Yeah.
When we were camp hosts, this was our favorite day of the week.
Yeah. But we will be doing a tour of this campground, and we'll tell you more about it. But today it's more like a public service announcement, I guess you might say.
Well, yeah, because we you know, most of the time we're coming into a campsite blind. Basically, we just go by what's the written description, and we just trust.
Right. And, you know, and we've talked about this so many times before, the fact that we carry a wide assortment of Camco leveling blocks. I like to call them Lego blocks because we never know when we might need quite a few. And then also, we've done videos in the past on if you're looking at doing a cargo trailer conversion and you're going to order your trailer, there are certain options that we highly recommend that you consider if you're going to order a trailer for the purpose of doing a cargo trailer conversion. And one of the things that, there's two things mainly that we, I guess I want to say we harp on quite a bit.
Well, we do, because we ran into it with our first build,
Right.
and people say, well, what would you do different?
Right.
Well, here it is.
Yeah. The foremost things that we always recommend that you do if you're going to have a trailer spec built or order a special trailer, you know, to do your conversion with, number one is an extended tongue. Always get an extended tongue. They just tow so much easier. There's just so many benefits to having the extended tongue. Number two, which I think is really more important than anything else, because I'm the one that does the setup outside, are strongly consider going with straight axles rather than the traditional 4-inch drop axles.
Right.
And there are many, many reasons for that. The first and foremost, of course, it's going to make it a whole lot easier to run your sewer drains and things like that, because you're going to have so much more additional ground clearance. But the next thing is, and it has to do with ground clearance as well, it has to do with being able to get it level when you pull into a campsite that is leaning, you know, this way or that way. And the more ground clearance you have, the easier it's going to be to get your trailer level fore and aft. Fore and aft.
Fore and aft.
Is that right?
I
So anyway, you looked up this site. Now we had a hard
Yes.
time finding a site here.
Well,
This is a stop-off point we wanted. Let me.
normally, yes, but I knew we were coming in over a weekend, and that's really hard to get sites when you're coming in over a weekend, because, you know, families are out, and anyway, so I was limited on choices, and this was somewhere we wanted to go. On our trek over into Indiana. This was a spot we wanted to stop at. And so I searched and searched and finally found a site, and it was long enough, and I believe they said it was 12 foot wide, and it had a minus 4% slope.
Right, which minus means it's going to slope towards the back.
Right, and in my mind, a minus 4% was
That's not
nothing we
much.
couldn't deal with.
That's nothing we can't deal with.
And it was available for the dates I needed. It was like, okay, boom, took
Yep.
it.
Yep. But
But
when we got here,
oh my goodness.
that And we've mentioned this many times. There's two things that we've mentioned about the numbers that they give you on a site. One number is we've learned over the years is some of these people that measure the length of these sites don't know how to read a tape measure.
No.
And the other one is...
So I always add to my rig,
Exactly.
you know, so that my site's plenty long enough.
Yeah, and the filter, she always embellishes the size of our rig by, you know, I'd say 15-20% at least,
Well,
just to be certain that the site will be large enough, you know, so we can back our van in here as well and still be on the same pad.
you know, because we want our van on the same pad as our trailer,
Right.
if possible.
Right. But, you know, and a 4% grade, that's nothing. A minus 4%, that's nothing. But let me show you, and we're set up here. We've been here for what? This is our second night. We spent here last night, or third? I'm already lost.
Second night last night,
Okay.
because we were going to see if we could change
Yeah,
campsites.
that's right.
And we drove around, and to be quite honest with you, there was a few, but they were still taken for the
Yeah.
rest of this.
And yeah, and there's more to it than
So
that. Anyway.
we decided we'll deal with it.
Yeah. So here's what we've got. Are you ready for this? This is what they are calling, I apologize for the bikes being right there, but hey, that's the best place to put them. But they're calling this a 4% grade right there. That's what they call a 4% grade.
Now we're used to possibly having to change our steps around, like the taller steps put it to the back door and the shorter steps put to the front door. We don't, I mean, that's
Yeah.
versatility, we don't mind that. But,
You know, and they can't help it because they have this kind of a slope.
No.
Unless if they was to come in here and redo the whole thing. We're not picking on the Corps and say you should have done better.
No.
The only thing that we wish we would have known better, but I should have figured it out, you know, when I started to back in on the site, that it's more than a 4% grade. So, you know.
it's
when
more
we-
like a 10.
Yeah, we did some ciphering.
Yeah.
We looked up, we found a chart, and according to this chart, based on the amount of drop we had in 16 inches, because I have a 16-inch level that I leveled the bubble on and then measured the height, based on that, with this chart, we determined that actually this is more like a 10% minus 10% grade rather than a 4% grade. It's more than double what they claim that it is. Now, as far as getting us level, now level side to side was almost perfect.
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
it? Yeah. I didn't have to worry about anything
Didn't
there.
have to worry about that.
And by eyeballing it, I thought, well, maybe I've still got enough clearance where I can still get us level to fore and aft. And by this time, I'd already dropped the tongue way down and everything. And of course, we were disconnected from the ball. I had not unhooked my safety chains yet. In fact, I left the safety chains hooked up overnight
Yeah.
because I was a little nervous
It
about.
was like,
you know,
wow. Of course, there's trees there. You wouldn't go off into the lake.
yeah, we got some trees over there.
And we have our chocks.
but-
And we have our, what's those things we put between the wheels?
X-chocks.
X-chocks. We have
Between
both
the
of
wheels.
those things.
Yeah, we have those, and they're tightened down really tight and everything. But for that first night, I still went ahead and left the van backed up close to the trailer and had left the safety chains hooked up just to be on the safe side. Then I got up the next morning to make sure we hadn't moved, and we had not. But then what I did, I went ahead and cinched up the stabilizer jacks, both front and rear, you know, give them a little bit more of a twist just to really firmly plant the trailer, and went ahead and unhooked the safety chains, and
I
we've been
think
fine.
Yeah.
We've been fine. However,
Yeah.
even though I dropped the nose way down, let me walk over here. Even though I have the nose practically on the ground, and I didn't want to take it any lower than what you see there, we are still about 1.5 inches high on the front. Aren't we, babe?
Yeah, you still kind of walk uphill.
Yeah, when you're going from the bathroom to the kitchen, yeah, it's kind of an uphill slope, but it's not terrible. But, you know, in retrospect, what I should have done, and I'm going to go ahead and admit something. Deb told me to, And I told her I didn't think we needed to.
I even got the blocks out of the van and laid them back here. I said, I think we need to raise the back tires.
Yep.
We don't need to do that, he says. So I said, well,
No, I
hey.
didn't say it just like that, did I?
I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah. No, but Deb said we need to raise it at least 2 blocks high.
Yes.
Raise the whole trailer at least 2 blocks high. And I said, nah, I don't think. I think we can still get it level. I was wrong. And quite honestly, probably we should have raised it 3 blocks high.
If we had raised the back wheels, you know, some, then we could have got it leveled this way.
Which, had we have done that, you know, it would have taken an extra 10 minutes and we wouldn't be walking uphill.
We wouldn't be walking uphill and Bill wouldn't
Yep.
have had to worry quite so much.
I know. Well, I'm not too worried now, except it is kind of cumbersome, you know.
Yeah, but
But
we'll deal.
enough of that. This is just something, you know, that we thought that we would mention.
Just another thing to be prepared for.
Right. We carry 3 sets of the square Camco blocks, the ones that are 8 inches by 8 inches. And then we carry 3 sets of the long Camco blocks. And that way it makes it really easy to build ramps if we need to. And we can throw ramps up real quick. Now, one thing that I also had to do, which I will point out to you here right quick, is when you're this high in the back, you don't want to extend if you have these kind of stabilizer jacks, you do not want to extend them beyond 45 degrees. If you do extend them beyond 45 degrees, there'll be too much of a wobble in them, you know. And so you want to try to keep that at 45 degrees or less. So that's also where these Camco blocks come in handy as well, because then I can go ahead and crank them down to what I guesstimate to be 45 degrees or a little bit less than 45 degrees, and then stack up the appropriate amount of blocks so that they won't go beyond that, and that actually gives you a much sturdier platform, especially when you're in a precarious situation like we are now. Now, when we go get ready to hook up and pull out of here in a few days, I will have to take extra care to make certain that, you know, when we start unhooking X-chocks and things like that, so we can raise the nose of it up high enough, and that's going to be quite a lift, you know.
Yeah.
It's going to be quite a lift to raise the nose back up high enough, you know, to get to the ball on the back of the van. I'm going to back up close enough to the trailer so that I can hook my safety chains up before I do anything else, just to be certain if something was to go wrong, that the trailer won't just take off and, you know, land in the trees there. So anyway,
well, actually the electric box might block you before the trees.
Oh yeah, but you know, the only thing you have to worry about with the electric power box is, you know, behind the trailer over there.
Yeah.
The only thing you have to worry about there, you know, if it knocks that over and
that would be no big
and
deal,
it starts
right?
throwing sparks and stuff like that, no big deal. Anyway, we just thought we would mention this. This is something, you know, that maybe you can, you know, store back here in a little file back in the back of your head for some of you out there that are just starting to do this and you're running into situations like this. But it's so important to be sure and have enough blocks on hand for when you run into this. And this is probably the absolute worst site here at the campground.
Yeah, we thought we'd already been at the worst.
Yeah.
But this is worse.
Yeah. This is the worst we've ever encountered out of all the places we've stayed in Arkansas, which you'd think, you know, if you're going to encounter something like this, be in Arkansas, but this is worse. But there are other sites in this campground that aren't quite as bad, but almost as bad.
Well, there's some that are not bad at all.
Yeah.
And and we'll point those out to you when we do our tour of the campground. But, you know, like I said, we barely got this. Now we might know why.
We might know why this one was available.
Locals said nope.
Yeah, the locals that were familiar.
Yes.
You know. So anyway, that's why we thought we would mention this right quick. Now we've got some friends coming. Well, friends, some followers that we've never met. They're going to stop by and say hi later this afternoon. So we're looking forward to that.
Hopefully it'll cool off a little bit before they get here.
Well, it's supposed to cool off tomorrow, but yeah, hopefully it'll cool off later this evening when they come for that visit. And then tomorrow we're meeting up with some followers that we have met once before while we were over in Arkansas. They're from this area, and they happen to be down in Arkansas on vacation, and they met up with us, and we had a wonderful time. They're coming by tomorrow bringing their bikes, and we're going to go over to a bike trail not far from here called Tunnel Hill Trail. Tunnel Hill Trail, which evidently is was once a railroad with quite a bit of history.
Yeah, we're looking forward to
Yeah, we're looking forward to that, and we'll share some of that with you later down the line. And we pull out of here midweek, headed to Indiana, and once we get there, after Deb and I celebrate our 52nd wedding anniversary.
No,
on
wait. We're getting there on the 28th, and you're not doing anything till after the 3rd? You're confused.
Hey, babe, it takes me 4 or 5 days to celebrate.
You're confused.
Well, this is a milestone.
Yeah,
You've made it.
getting my trailer done.
You've made it 52 years.
I know.
With me.
Yeah, I know, and I'd like to make it 53, but we're going to get some stuff done.
Okay. We will be starting some projects right after we get there, because we're going to be there for about a month.
We've got several
up in
projects.
Indiana
Hopefully
at this
we'll
spot.
get it to the point we can do a walkthrough on our own trailer.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be awesome.
But we'll show you a few things along the way.
Yes.
We're gonna where we're staying. It's a good friend of ours, and he is also an engineer and a welder. And we're going to weld up a special setup so we can mount the bike rack on the back of the trailer instead of having to haul the bikes inside the trailer. And we're also going to weld up a spare tire mount so we don't have to keep handling the spare tire and throwing it in the back of the trailer when we go down the road.
Yes.
In addition to several other things that the projects we're going to try to wrap up on the inside of the trailer. We're going to show you more about our composting,
Dry toilet.
The term composting toilet, let's be honest, it's a loose term. It's more like a dry toilet setup, but we're going to show you more about how it works, because I'm going to be building a new toilet seat for you to show y'all, and might give you some ideas how you can make it look more like a regular toilet than composting, one of those others. Those are several little things that we'll be doing along the way.
Yep. We got a full schedule.
Yeah, got a full schedule.
Plus we got a visit.
And we'll have visit. We're going to have other friends show up there.
Yes.
And so
We're excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun month. Then we're going to jog over into Kentucky. Might as well tell them.
Yeah.
We're going to jog over into Kentucky, drop down into Tennessee.
We hope.
We hope.
We hope we get to drop down and see Melinda and Scotty
Yeah.
that we met.
Simple Life, Simple Pleasures is the name of their channel. We understand that they are now camp hosts at a Corps of Engineer campground in Tennessee. We met them 2 years ago down in Florida. So we're strongly considering on a look and see if we can find a spot there to visit with them a couple of days. We have to be back in Arkansas, in northwest Arkansas, for more routine doctor's visits and things like that. Deb's got to get a cataract done.
Yeah.
Cataract surgery done.
Old age surgery.
And then, of course, we'll be heading for
to the rendezvous.
The rendezvous, which is in October at Pickensville, Alabama. There's so many things I'm trying to remember here along the way. And we have sample shirts waiting for us when we get to Indiana, and we'll show you what the sample shirts are going to look like for the rendezvous in Alabama.
And we're going to do this one a little different, and we'll explain that.
Yeah, we'll get into more detail about that as time goes on, how you can order your shirts and everything. So anyway, lots of stuff coming up. So hang around, please. And we're almost at 29,000 subscribers.
Yes, that's amazing.
Which
Thank you.
Just tickles us to death. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. You can still be private. You don't have to worry about this and that. But the more people that subscribe, it affects the algorithm that YouTube uses, which in turn makes them recommend our videos to more people. We get more exposure, blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah.
I don't understand how it all works, but I know that that's what they say. We have a goal, and of course I'd love to be way beyond that, but we have a goal to reach 30,000 subscribers by the time the rendezvous
Yeah.
begins
That would be amazing.
in October in Pickensville, Alabama.
Yep.
Anyway, we're going to let you go for now. We've got some more content coming up here shortly. But anyway, this is Bill and Deb with I Ride Tiny House Adventures. And we are not camping.
We are living.
Y'all get out there and do some living. And we will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.